All right, welcome back to the Few Show, everybody. My name is Bud. I'm account executive here at xfusion.io and co-host of the Few Show. I'm excited to be joined today by my guest, Ganesh, Gandhieswaran. Ganesh is the co-founder and CEO of ConverSight.ai, empowering supply chain leaders to gain timely insights using the simple natural language QA platform. Ganesh has spent over 20 years in the data and analytics space, led one of the fastest growing $200 million analytics business groups, and served customers in manufacturing, logistics, retail, and hospitality. Ganesh, thanks for being on the show, my friend. How you doing today?
Awesome. Great to have being part of this, but what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's awesome to have you on the show, and I think we have a lot to cover today.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
ConverSight seems like quite a business here. It's a little bit over my head as I go to study this here. I am not the technical guy, so I'm gonna have to have you dumb this down a little bit as we get started. But I can see quite a few good case or use cases for this from what I can tell. So why don't we go ahead and get into ConverSight, what it is, and what you're doing.
Sure, absolutely. ConverSight is conversational insights through an artificial intelligence. So, today the world is full of, it's all digital and a lot of data. So every business leader has a lot of data. And how do we convert that data to insights? Can we get help from somebody? That's kind of where we are. All of us can ask questions, just like you and me are talking. You're going to ask something, I'm answering, and kind of that conversation. Can we have a friendly conversation with that data? With that natural, language, understanding and question. That's kind of what we are. In a simple sense, we are building a smart employee. We named Athena. Athena will be in the mobile app or a browser, and every supply chain leaders or a business leader's pocket. Whenever they have a question, they can just tab, ask Athena, hey Athena, how much revenue we made last week? As simple as that. Or complex, hey, who are my top 10 customers in this space, in this region for this product? You can ask questions to Athena. Athena, as an AI virtual employee, understand who you are, what you can access. Obviously, security is critical. Understand that question, connect with your data, give you an insight right there. Right? So a smart employee, that's kind of in a nutshell, right? We'll deep dive of this.
Yeah. So you're the third person that I've had on the show that has conversational, basically smart conversational, artificial intelligent conversational technology, right?
Yes.
And it just fascinates me that we've come to this point where you can actually have basically a human conversation with this technology.
With this mission, yeah.
Yeah. And so basically you can get out of bed and you can say, hey, Athena, what were my sales for yesterday? What were my sales for last week? What were my sales for last year? Can you compare my last 2 years of sales?
Yes.
And what do I need to order to make that happen again? That's basically what you can do with this, right? Or in my warehouse, what do I need to have on hand to be able to make this happen again?
Spot on.
Am I catching the drift of what you're doing here?
You are spot on. That is step one. That's kind of how we thought that Athena should answer these questions. But today, Athena is even more smarter. That, if you are asking these questions every day morning, Athena knew, Bud is going to ask these questions every day. Proactively, Athena will start telling you, hey, this is what's happening in your warehouse. This is what's selling, this is not selling. You have this much inventory. Like what we call your news, the morning news. Athena will give you that news And it's not going to stop, because anytime when you hear something, it's going to intrigue. Okay, oh, what about that? Ask that question. Then Athena will respond. I would say like a smart employee, a smart assistant, a smart employee for every business leader out there. That's kind of
That's fascinating. So where did this idea come from? What led you to build ConverSight? Was it something that happened that you were working on? Did you see a pain point? Like, what led you to leave your old work and say, we need to build this?
Yeah. So, in my prior experience, as I was mentioning, my prior company used to build what we call the data warehouse, data lake, analytic systems, right? Various different tools. Each one would cost $1 million, right? Big money enterprises are spending to capture the data and all that. And that was, I think, 2016, around that time, we were deploying a big sales analytics solution for a large customer company, and assume like 600 people were anticipated to use, all the sales and the leadership, everybody. The project went well. It was deployed really well. The CIO was great, happy. The project was on time, on budget. All that was great. After 4 months, I was asking my team that, how's that? We did a lot of effort. So who's using, how are they feeling, and all that. The team went and looked at who's using it. Like 10 people were using it. 10 out of 600. Right? That's a fact, right? If you see like industry analysts like Gartner, when they interview, 20% is kind of the best adoption we are seeing in the market for the BI, right? Insight.
Yeah.
That was really made me like, all these leaders, the 600 of them, need insights. There is no way today they can be perfect without these insights. They need to know who's buying, who's not buying, which products are selling, not selling, where we are selling, all that. That means they are getting insights from some way. Either they are guessing or they're getting from somebody. So then I started spending a little bit time with a couple of those leaders, day in a life with that leader. What I found was most of the leaders were dependent on one or two people. I used to have, in one of the customer, the name was Mike. Always they go to Mike. So Mike 7 o'clock report, they used to call something like that, right? So the entire organization was dependent on one person. That one person would go to the system and generate all the report. Everyone need Mike. And why not we build an AI character like Mike and give it to them so that the sales leadership, supply chain leaders, wherever they are, whether they are in front of the customer, getting up in the morning, on the way to the office, in a board meeting, in a sales strategy discussion, their assistant or their smart analyst should be with them and answer those questions. That kind of it started. The adoption, I saw that a lot of money getting wasted in collecting the data, not converting. And the way the leaders using it, you can't change those leaders. The leaders are not going to learn the technology and figure out. Rather, the technology need to learn and adapt itself to these leaders. That's where this Athena is coming in. I'm so pleased with all, in the last 3 years, what we have done. And some of our customers can't live without Athena today. That's kind of what motivates me every day now.
Nice. So why didn't you name it Mike instead of Athena? No, just kidding. So that's kind of where the genesis came from.
Yeah.
Are you a super technical guy? Is that where your background is? Or when you thought about this, how did you go about building your team to make sure that you could make this happen then?
Yeah. I won't call myself a technical guy completely. I can code, but I have some great team. like my co-founder, Gopinath. So I am always pleased when I'm with customers and understanding their business problem, whether it is, making more revenue or, handling this stock out problem for e-commerce, that problem. I really want to know the outcome of their issue and what it could change, that outcome. And then translate back to the technology, that what technology can solve that. In my personal motto is own the outcome. I want to own the outcome for these customers. And so that was the case in 2016 when I had this problem in my mind that customers are spending $1 million but not getting insights. Then I met my co-founder in a technology conference. In fact, he was showing something very, very advanced, like AR, VR, virtual reality space. And when I was talking to him, this is the problem. How do you solve? And he opened up the whole thing about where this world of conversational AI is going, and this how this voice and virtual reality is going to come this together and all that. I was so excited. Then I was telling him that how we could join and change this world. And that's kind of how we build this platform overall. Great team. I can bring that vision and dream, and he make that quickly. So that's kind of how it's happening.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's kind of get into, you have this great platform.
Mm-hmm.
You have a company that has been doing business a certain way for however many years, right?
Yeah.
So you go into, say, a warehouse, and they want to implement ConverSight. They want to get Athena in there. And I've heard you say before that it takes 2 to 4 weeks to get Athena kind of in there, ready to go before it's all ready to be fully implemented, right? How do you get Athena integrated into their software, into their system? Is there a lot of manual input? Is it all done through machine learning? How does that work for your clients to get ConverSight fully integrated into their system?
Yeah. I want to, the way we think position, Athena is an employee in the company. The same way how you think about onboarding an employee. That's kind of how Athena will get, ingested in the system. If the company is well organized, all the processes are defined, the data is in few places, clean, then Athena can run immediately, right? So we have few ERPs. So now let's take a company, e-commerce company. So the e-commerce companies are nowadays, even small, mid, they have complex because they are selling in all these e-commerce platforms, sales data in one platform. Then they have procurement and all that in another ERP systems. And then all the fulfillment, shipping, logistics in maybe in another system. Some are in-house, some are third party. So in this company, in a retail, e-commerce retail like this, how Athena get onboarded? First thing, Athena need to be familiarized on those ERP or CRM systems. Today we have integrated, or we call smart connectors, 30 different systems. So most probably, Athena is going to land in a place where Athena is already familiar with 2 out of 3 systems.
Okay.
So number 1. So get hooked with their data. Then for Athena to understand the data and Athena to understand the business leader of that company, there is something is data and knowledge. What we do is what I mean by knowledge is, if you are asking about, let's take e-commerce, somebody will say, how much stock we have for this SKU? Next person will come and ask how much on-hand inventory we have for this product. product, SKU, material, item. Different ways to call it. On hand, inventory, stock, multiple ways to call it. Like very similarly, sales versus revenue, right? For example.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all knowledge and the data. So we bring knowledge. I would say like Athena is trained on that supply chain. In our avatar, Athena holds a supply chain book in her hand. So depicts that Athena is supply chain expert. So brings that experience. Between week one, Athena is embedding, connected to the data and started capturing the knowledge. Start working with 1 or 2 people on week one. Week two, few more. So between the first week to the week 4, Athena is familiar with the data, enriched knowledge, and ready to serve more than that immediately. It is very similar to the way you onboard anybody in a company, right?
Sure.
That's kind of how the journey starts. So our customers are starting. Some would start even week 1. Some would start week 4. So it's between that 1 to 4 weeks.
Nice. Okay. That makes sense. So with everything that Athena can do, like she fully integrates and she has all this data, you can come in, anybody can ask her, hey, what do we have on hand? How much did we sell? What do we need to buy? What do we have too much of? I mean, she has all this information, right? That can be somewhat intimidating for some of those employees, I would think, that would be on hand. How do you go about helping people not be so worried that your product is going to be taking some of their jobs? I would think that would be a worry for some of these people. You say, hey, we're going to be coming in, we're going to be implementing our software. Don't be worried that you're going to lose your job. I would think that would be a worry for a lot of these people. How do you go about that?
That is probably a little bit from outside look, yes. But what I see from these companies when we are working with these supply chain companies, we are seeing 2 different type of people. One, busy business leaders, a warehouse manager, a director of a supply chain, director of sales. Their job is really not building these reports or answering questions, but they spend a lot of time in Excel to put this together. Mm-hmm. If they want last 12 months of revenue by customer, they need to put it in a pivot and all those. Some people are good in Excel, some are not. These business leaders who are really spending their unproductive time, they are seeing this as really a big time saver. And wow, Athena can help me do much better. That is one. But on the other hand, data analyst type people, they are somewhat technical. Their full-time job is doing this. But I see them different worry that they are aspiring data scientists. They want to learn machine learning. They want, write algorithms. And there is technology is much more advanced now. And they don't want to really keep on writing the same old simple queries in a database to pull the data. Rather, they want to spend time and learn analytics and do forecasting, machine learning algorithms. But the repeated, low-hanging, this work is really bothering them, rather, or hindering their growth to the next level. So they are seeing this as an opportunity. So from outside, in fact, initially we were also worried, will they see this as a negative? Will they see as a threat to their job? No, to my surprise, at least I would say 80%. There is always some exception here and there.
Sure.
That 80% they see this as a great opportunity. Right. To give you an example, right, I was talking to one of the business leader. He's a president of a large company, a $20 billion company. And I'm sure they must be spending millions of dollars in this reporting and all these they have. It was weekend and he felt he wanted to know what they made on sales for a particular product in the last 1 week because that was a new product. Is that he could not get that until Monday afternoon, until one of his demand planner come and share that report. He was like in a waiting mode. A business leader of that size of a company. That is an opportunity. Time to market, right? Time to get that insights. Moment when you think you should have that insight. That's the opportunity what we are creating, and not really replacing anybody, rather making them more productive, more informative, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Just blows my mind what we can do, I mean, I say this quite often on this show, and I believe it, but, people are awesome. And what we can come up with is just incredible.
Yeah.
And it never ceases to blow my mind what the human race can do. And again, we just keep coming up with ways to make everything better and easier and more productive and just moving forward. And it's just accelerating so quickly. It blows my mind. So
yeah, it's all about, the moment you have something good, then you look for the next. That's an evolution, right? The human evolution. Just to give you an example, right? We onboarded one customer beginning of this year, an e-commerce customer, and they were struggling for reporting. He was a CFO. And he was really struggling for insights. Athena is onboarded. Athena become really the pet. And now he was able to get all the insights. He could ask, hey, Athena, give me your revenue by month. Flash, like immediately get that. Then he left the job and moved to another company. 2 months in, he called us. This is what he has said. In the prior company, he was able to get that insights immediately. In this new company, he was telling it was taking 5 minutes. It's just 5 minutes, but he said that it takes 5 minutes to get what's my year rate revenue. See that expectation difference. If Athena was never introduced for him, he would live with the 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He said he had to go log into a computer and the particular website and go click to get few filters for this year. It takes 5 minutes. And he would just ask Athena. That is where the world is going. That is what the next generation of Gen Zs are going to look for in the workplace. They don't want to go with, very complex way. They are not going to tolerate that, right? So This is the evolution, what I see, where it's going to go. We are seeing that already with our customers.
So let me bend your ear here, and these are kind of a couple of the use cases that I was coming up in my head with when I was looking at ConverSight here. I live in a small town in Northeast Colorado, and we have a gigantic retailer in Walmart that has thousands of stores, has huge warehouses, right? And then we have a small mom and pop grocery store.
Yeah.
And those are really the two places that we can go shop, right? Now, I'm thinking with ConverSight and what you have available. Now, Walmart can have a front to back resource with ConverSight from the shipping yard, I would guess, clear down to the retail store, right? Sure. And just say trash cans, for example, and have the last few years of how many trash cans they sold in November.
Yeah.
Now ConverSight could say, hey, they sold this many trash cans November of last year and the year before and this year. So next year, Athena could say, hey, the Sterling store needs to order this many trash cans. Now, could ConverSight or Athena say, hey, you need to order and ship this many trash cans to this store in Sterling because they're going to sell this many? And then the manager could say, yeah, check, right? And just have that automatically done with a whole lot less paperwork, a whole lot less time.
Yes.
Right. Is that kind of where this line is going?
Absolutely. So what we call step 1 is integrated data. Step 2 is generate insights. Step 3 is recommendation. So some of our customers today, we are doing what we call recommended work orders for manufacturers or recommended purchase orders. So exactly. So look at the historical trend, look at your inventory. More than conversational, what's happening in supply chain now is cycle time is increasing a lot. Some of our customers who used to get fulfillment in 3 months, now it's almost like 8 months.
I was going to ask you about that too, with
right?
the supply chain in chaos like it is.
Yeah.
What's going to happen there too?
Yeah, see, so what earlier they used to do, like sales team give forecast, and then they go order and get it done and all that. One of our customers, for example, we are ordering 12 months ahead now because all their vendors are in Taiwan and China. And so it's almost taking 12 months. So we are already placing orders for next year, September now. So there is no way the sales team can give the forecast. So that's where this AI can come and help. And so we are doing it. For another manufacturing company, we are recommending how much they need to make. So recommending the work order and slotting that and all that. Yeah, this technology can do wonders, especially when the demand, supply, and inventory all that together, integrated with the natural conversation, get that insights and act on. Right? That I think this world of natural language and AI is going to bring a lot of productivity improvement and a lot more informed decisions into this supply chain.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's awesome. And I was just kind of going over some of the just quickly going over some of your old podcast stuff, and just caught a quick clip of one where you were saying that all this is patented. Now you have a patent on all of this. Is that correct? Like you have this patented and nobody else can take this away. Is that correct?
No, with in this technology space, you cannot patent this whole concept as such. That's all stopped with 2015. There are few areas where we can patent ourselves. So patent in our case, when you're speaking to Athena's learning and enriching that dictionary. What I was mentioning earlier about, somebody say SKU, somebody say product, somebody will say revenue, somebody will say sales. Obviously, on day one, Athena will not know everything the company speak, that lingo, and Athena will learn. So when you ask a question, when Athena's not knowing what it is, Athena's learning, oh, did you mean this? And you, based on the confirmation, Athena enrich itself. So typically in the, statistic machine learning and AI, you need to train, you need to give a sample data and train with the sample data and then replicate. But here, there's no sample data concept. It's more like a human, machine, interaction. Through that ongoing Athena need to learn. Same way, right? Why we did that is because Athena is an employee, and like in any employee, Athena need to learn, right? So somebody come and ask, oh, Athena, how many orders we got from Ford? If there is Ford Motors Inc. and then Ford Motors Limited, or couple of different customers, Athena need to know. On day one, Athena will probably ask, which one you meant, right? I see 3. Oh, all of them, right? Now for you, it's all of them. because you have access to all of them. Now, Athena will learn anytime Bud is asking about, revenue, how many orders from Ford or revenue from Ford. Now I need to give all that. So how Athena's learning, that's an area is what we have patented.
Oh, nice.
What we call
Cool.
adaptive learning. So Athena is adapting to learn. And that's a first part. There are many other within that, how Athena's learning
Sure.
takes from that. Yeah.
Sure. So what are you finding is your biggest pain point in your business, and then in the industry as a whole? What are you finding is the biggest pain point in the industry?
Yeah. So expectation setting, I believe. See, people are okay to go click 10 clicks to get that one report and one information. And when you give this conversational, people already expect wonders, meaning, hey, Athena, give me my margin by month. Athena will give you the margin by month. Okay, in August, there is a dip, right? If you want to ask Athena that, Athena, why did margin dip in August? Why question? Answering why question is not easy, number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is, if the question is not clear, Athena will get confused. Like any other human, any new employee, right? Any new employee. So clarity matters. That's what you are asking, right? And so that is kind of where we are investing as well. That satisfying people are not easy, especially when you give a technology which, like, sometimes initially it's hard to believe. Oh, wow. Is it real? Can Athena understand? But once they start believing, they want to test. We all have a human tendency that we want to prove that we are smarter, obviously, right?
Sure.
So a lot of customers where I see that they want to test Athena to the core and try to see, hey, I won. Athena couldn't answer this question, which is good. That is how the evolution of human as well as the evolution of this machine AI is going to go. You ask more, our researchers will do more research and get that best out of it. So the challenge is really, keeping up with that demand, keeping up with that level of advancement we need to make in the industry, especially in the natural language, understanding where we are at. That's probably what keeps me, we monitor how many questions Athena answered, how many did not, or how many questions where Athena gave a valid alternate. Did you mean this time, right? Mm-hmm. And so that is kind of, that's a key metric for us. We are enriching, learning from that, and making sure Athena is understanding more and more better every day. That's a challenge.
Yeah, I would bet. So with COVID hitting, how did that affect you guys as a business? I would guess that, well, I don't know. I guess I don't want to guess. How did that affect you guys as a business? I have something in my head of how it would affect you, but the supply chain kind of went into shambles.
Yeah.
So I would just go ahead and answer it. I'm not going to put my thoughts out there yet.
See, even before COVID, our technology, conversational AI, can be used by anybody, like any industry. But from our go-to-market perspective, obviously we want to start and we want to win one market at a time. And so we have decided to go with, supply chain. That was a perfect decision we made before pandemic in 18. And I'm so lucky that I think we made the decision. We did not decide an industry like a restaurant industry, right? So we have decided in a good industry. That really helped. What I'm really pleased, one is obviously company and product growth, new customers, all that is fine, but really going and helping these customers. I'll tell you, most of our customers, big chunk of our customers have seen huge growth. One of our customers, online sales and candy and other stuff, they've grown 600% in the 8 years. Unimaginable growth, right? And think about the amount of purchase orders, sales orders, how much tracking they need to do. Like vendor increase the price, freight is increasing, and how much stock they need to have to prevent stock out. I am glad we were able to deploy our technology just in time before that big, crisis in a good way happened.
Right.
And Athena could do like a 10 people work in a good context. It's not replacing 10 people work, but can do more. The company, like they had a 3-member operations team. Without Athena, they could have probably had like 12-member team. And where do you go hire? And you can't hire, you can't bring people to office and all that. I think I'm so pleased that what we were able to do during this time. And I'm grateful that some of those customers are very, very vocal. Like next week, Wednesday, we have a webinar with along with one of our ERP partner, Fishbowl Inventory, for example. So 4 of our customers are going to come and share their experience during this pandemic and how Athena is helping them, for example. So that, we more than survived, we have definitely seen great growth, and more than growth in terms of number of customers and revenue. I am really, as I said, own the outcome. What's the true outcome I can own is helping our customers when they really need us. Right? So, I'm so pleased that we were able to do that in the last 1 year.
Yeah. It's crazy because, with as bad as the pandemic has been, it's been really good for some people. And some people don't like it, but that's okay. Like there's some bad things and there's some good things. And that's the way it is with everything. So, good for you for rolling that out, and I'm happy for you. Like that's okay. So I do want to ask, like, how have you been able to bridge some past experiences unrelated to what you're doing now that you've been able to kind of relate back to how this has all come together?
Yeah. See, one is obviously I'm very familiar with the space what I am at. Analytics, data and analytics, that's my core, 20 years. Supply chain, that's another area where I spend most of my experience there, so I was able to do that. But beyond that, starting from scratch and running the company, it's a different skill. Like you need to, it's not like one payroll, and it's not like just my family. I have to have the responsibility to take care of the entire team and the family, right? For everybody, right? Every decision I make should result in a positive and growth for all the employees. Taking that role was not easy. I have taken it.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge responsibility, right? So living up to that responsibility and satisfying everybody, I feel so happy when I'm satisfying customers and own the outcome. But now you need to satisfy your employees and investors, certainly, and partners sometimes. When we have 10 partners, whom do you give the preference, right? So without offending others. So balancing everybody, and it's not like how many hours of work it is. It's more of how do you balance the work. Early on, one of the, when I was telling about, the schedule is crazy, I'm super busy, one of the investors was telling me, that is still on my mind, that, as a CEO, you would be busy. Always you will be busy. You'll have a lot of things to do. But what's in it for him as an investor? What's in it for a customer, for example? Are we spending every hour I'm spending as a CEO in a productive way, which is resulting in advancing everyone, every stakeholder, customer, investor, employees, everybody, partner. So that is a challenge. So I question myself, like, if I need to spend an hour, is it going to help someone? This is a great time. We are exchanging thought. It's not like we are coming and it's not a sales call, but it's great. I'm sure there are people who are listening in going to start a company. I'm sure there are supply chain leaders who now knew how they can make use of their data or how they can reduce their time playing with Excel, right? So, together we are putting this time to help this, ecosystem and, people, let's do it. Yeah.
Kind of goes back to what you said near the beginning when you said own the outcome. It goes beyond just owning the outcome of the business, doesn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we kind of need to wrap this thing up for you. So let me ask you the same couple questions that I ask everybody that's on this show.
Sure.
To wrap this thing up. So what advice would you give to founders or soon to be founders that are going to be watching this program?
I think startup journey is an amazing stuff. Take that sooner as soon as possible. Don't wait. There are a lot of people out there to help you. There are great founders, advisors, investors, government. The ecosystem is waiting for people to start something. As a founder, we are not alone. That one thing I realized. Mm-hmm. When I was working for a larger company, when I go, try to sell something, they say, see me as, okay, this guy is going to come and sell. But when I see that, hey, I'm founding this new company and that, they see me as a solution provider. They see me as a job creator. They see me as, multiplying their dollars, like multiple, right? So everybody come and offer a lot of help, for example, right? So you are not alone. I want to register that. Number two, it's not just you. Believe in your team. Keep the right people. I never sometimes, you have to disagree to agree. It's not like always yes. And me and my co-founder, we kind of argue a lot. Like we figure out, and that's when the idea comes. So
I think that's great.
Don't get another co-founder who's look alike you, who will listen to you. Not that. Get somebody who's really, really that thinker and can challenge you, and keep people around you who can challenge you. Whether they are your sales leader, your CTO, or your programmer, anybody, doesn't matter. Right? So that, I know we can go on the list, but take that you are not alone, just ready to go jump, and have the right people around you. Listen to the right advice and right suggestions, but still take your decision, not somebody else. Make your decision right and go for it.
Yeah, those are both great pieces of advice. And the last question is, what is the best way for our viewers to get in touch with you if they so wish?
Yeah, you can reach me through email. Ganesh, you can easy to remember this. Ganesh G. So G and G. Ganesh G at ConverSight.ai, not com.ai. One day. Mm-hmm. Second, I have my LinkedIn. You just Google Ganesh and ConverSight, you'll get me into LinkedIn, and I'm good in connecting in LinkedIn and responding to you. So anybody who want to connect, or I am in Twitter and Facebooks and all that, right? So you can just touch. Or if you come to ConverSight website, there is an option to chat, and sometimes you can chat with me directly or somebody, and definitely you can reach me. There are many ways. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, you have been a very gracious guest. Thank you for putting up with my ignorance and helping me walk through this this platform of yours. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for being on the show, and you have a really, really great day.
Oh, this is my pleasure. It's great to be part of this and introducing to your, the network of people, and looking forward to continue being here. And
Yes.
as a listener and, ability to share in a couple of years.